The High Stakes Fantasy Podcast. This is another live stream. Tonight we're doing our first Rotowire Online Championship. This should be a lot of fun. $150,000 grand prize on the line, 12 teams, 30 rounds. I'm joined by the Swiss Army knife of the NFBC, Darik Buchar, and Vlad Sedler of FTNFantasy.com. Vlad, first of all, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's Thursday night, and weekend's almost here, and I'm doing my first OC draft of the season, and going to get into my wheelhouse here, and excited to be here with you guys.
You're right. The weekend is almost here because it's past my bedtime. This is pretty late here in the Midwest. It's snowing here. Darik, is it snowing in Minneapolis?
It is sprinkling rain right now, actually. We got a little bit of snow early, and then we're going to get some overnight.
Yeah, we got about an inch right now and another inch coming. So we might as well just stay inside, stay warm, and watch this one. Okay, so Darik, you've been watching a lot of online championships. Anything we should be looking forward to? We're going to watch about the roster construction for each team, of course, but anything that stands out to you this year?
I think there's been 8 so far. I'm pretty sure I've watched 7 of them, or 6 or 7 of them, and looked at the board on the other one. Last time we had Vlad on, we had a cut line. What we're going to see here is I don't believe we're not going to see Shohei Ohtani go as high. This is one where it's not a best ball format. It's 12 teams. You have to make the decision to use him in your utility spot or as a pitcher for the entire week. So it does, I believe, decrease his value a little bit. Now he's still going to very likely go into the first round. I do believe I saw him slip into the second round in one of these early last week. But for the most part, we're seeing him before the turn, usually 10, 11. Other than that, I mean, now the team building, you'll get some. I mean, we've seen Dalton Del Don start out with 5 pitchers the other night. That's kind of the strategy that he's talking about. Worked for him well last year, so he's back at it this year. To be honest, I didn't like how his team actually turned out when I looked at it, but what can I say? He won all 3 of his leagues last year, cashed in 2 main events using this strategy. That's it. I mean, we'll see. Again, just this is, I think, what a lot of maybe guys that only play the 15s or only play the 12s don't necessarily realize how much different this game kind of is. Yes, it's an overall, just like the mains here. You're playing for the overall as long as you can, right? But in this format, I feel if you nail 10 or 12 solid picks, and then between free agency wire, injuries are going to happen. But I think if you really nail 10 to 12, you can flip your roster so much in these OCs throughout the year that, you just need that core guys. And while that can work in the main event, I think it works a lot better in the 12-team formats.
Yeah. Hey, Vlad, what about closers? We're seeing them go quicker and quicker this year than we have in the past. What do you think is going to happen tonight? Like the top 2 seem to go 25, 26, 27 in that range.
Yeah, I mean, the market is being set as we speak. It's really we've had a few OCs already occur over the last few weeks, but it's now going to start to get hot and heavier. They're going to start to fill, but already we're seeing closers going a little bit later, especially some of those guys that typically go in the sort of the 50 to 90 range, even down to Romano. Like those guys are sometimes even getting pushed back a little bit. I don't know how it's going to go here. We do have a lot of folks that have played against each other in the past. There's probably going to be, some fun and some sniping. But at the end of the day, for myself, I'm going to try to stay focused, try to, stick to specific plans and not really, kind of jump or fight for closers if I'm not ready for them.
All right, we got to let people know you have the 11th pick. Your thoughts on being at that end of the draft right now?
Yeah, I actually purposely set it myself this way. I know I'm going to be drafting a few of these. I haven't had a lot of picks towards the end, but this is my first 12-teamer. And I also had a feeling that some of these guys are basically going to leave the early part of the KDS there for themselves. So I kind of wanted to be on the other end, let them snipe each other, let me kind of do my damage from the other end of things.
All right, so you're going to be able to see the big board right here. You're going to see the big sticker for each one. For everybody, we got Fernando Tatis Jr. right now. Trey Turner's been number 1. Tatis has been number 2. I'm going to just look at the ADP right here. Jose Ramirez 3, Bo Bichette 4, Juan Soto 5, Garrett Cole 6, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 7, Bryce Harper 8, Corbin Burns 9, Shohei Ohtani 10, Kyle Tucker 11, and Ronald Acuna Jr. moving on up. He's at 12. That's the ADPs right now. As you can see, Turner goes 2, Ramirez 3, and Bichette 4. Darik, if you had a KDS right now, do you like the front of the draft in these 12-teamers or the back end, or it doesn't matter?
Again, if you're going to do more than one, I don't think it matters. I'd probably like to do one early, one middle, one late. I would set my KDS for most of these with one until I at least get one the one time, because I want to make sure I get a team with Trey Turner on it. After that, I'd probably move around. I do like the back half in our drafts most of the time, especially in the Rotowires, but in both football and baseball, even though football, I like it obviously because of the third round reverse. No third round reverse in any of our baseball drafts. Right. But I think, there's definitely tiers where the drop-offs are. So if, different for different people, of course, but I like actually being on the wheel sometimes as well on the 12. And when you're 6, 7, or 8, you never really get left out of a run, especially in a 12-team draft. So I think you can make anything work. I feel like I would be able to make anything work. I think a lot of guys feel that they can make any spot work here. Yeah,
it seems like those top 5 hitters have been going in the top 5 in a lot of our drafts that we're watching right now. That's why I wouldn't mind having any one of those top 5 to start off. Vlad goes 6 in a lot of them. People do like to take Cole or Burns there. As you see, Cole goes 6 here, Burns 7, and Vlad 8. And now is when it gets kind of interesting right here. But again, I kind of like those top 5. I have no problem with that. I'm in the 14-teamer. Vlad didn't stay in it this year, but we have the Arizona Fall League Speakers Draft Champions League. We just started it on Tuesday, and it's cruising. I mean, the guys are going through 4 or 5 rounds a day. I'm loving it. But I had the 14th pick, and I got Acuna and Robert there. So I kind of like that start, but yeah, I think you can make it work either way. So, all right, we got Ohtani at 9. Again, he is utility and pitcher. You decide where you want to use him in this format. You can start him as a utility and take all his hitting stats all week, or you can start him as a pitcher and take his pitching. So that's the way you have to use him. You put him in their starting lineup at one or the other. All right, Tucker. Oh, I just mentioned Acuna. All right, Vlad, let's talk about that one a little bit before you have to make another pick.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the guys that I was looking at in this range. I didn't necessarily want to start with with having 2 picks in the top 14. You're looking at a lot of outfielders, or you have to make a serious decision about whether you want to go with a pitcher. I like to map these out, looking into the next few rounds and seeing what I like. That's kind of why I picked the 11, because I think in the next couple of turns, there are some things that I like. I do like a lot of depth in the outfield, where I don't necessarily love going a couple outfielders early, but I think I'm going to have to make an exception in this case. I think I'm also feeling good about starting pitchers later on. So I'm going to get the big 1-2 from the outfield here and then work it from there.
Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, when you look at Betts' average over his career, and even last year, if he had stayed healthy, his average would have been like 31 homers or whatever. It's insane how he is dropping, because he hasn't really had one bad year. Yes, last year missed a few games and such, but man, that seems like great value in the second round to me this year. As far as Acuna, if you've seen any of the videos of this guy working out, it's hard to tell he's got an ACL injury. My goodness, right? Don't you think, Darik?
Yeah, I mean, looks great. Again, how much of that is, how healthy is he right now at this point? I don't know. He looked, 23, 24-year-old kid gets back a little bit quicker than guys our age at this point. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's been shooting up too, by the way. His ADP started off in the second round, and you ain't getting him outside the first round anymore in any draft. I don't really see it. Even the 12-teamers, he's just, even the cut lines I've been seeing the last couple of days in the top, he's going top 10, he's going first round. So.
He absolutely is. Last night in the cut line, he went 7th. So we talked about that last night on the show. So very interesting. Yeah, here's a nice little run of outfielders, and there is a good group of outfielders here. I like Robert there as well. Trout, of course, going 16, very good. So not afraid to go outfielder. Both you and Team 10 did that. And again, that's not bad. I mean, you take the counting stats where you get them at this point. You don't worry about roster construction. So see, we even got a guy by the name of Clark Olson likes that one. There's a steal there at 11. So there you go. I don't know if you need validation from Clark, but you just got it. How's that?
I mean, if I can get validation from NFBC legend, I might as well. I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go. What do I have up here? This one. Yeah, Trout in the second round, definitely very interested here. Okay, so let me ask you about Buehler. Anybody on Buehler here? I'm surprised he's actually dropping middle of second round. He did in our draft champions one too. I kind of looked at him in the second round, and he went to like 20 or 21. I was kind of surprised. Any thoughts on Buehler, Darik?
No, I mean, I think if he's your guy, he goes in the range. There's a couple of pitchers I like around him better. I do like Scherzer and Woodruff, who went after him here, better than him at this point. So I probably won't end up with much Buehler. And again, it's not like I don't like the guy. I just personal preference. I prefer a couple other guys, and enough guys like him enough where he's still going to be a second rounder. Even the 15s we may see main event weekend. We might see him in the first round still. A couple guys like him enough.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. Dever is at 13 there. He's moving into the first round. So young, such a good upside there as well. So solid aces here going in the second round. Buehler, Scherzer, Woodruff, and Wheeler. Woodruff is interesting that he's separated from Burns that much. I mean, I think they're pretty much same pitchers, to be truthful. I loved what Burns did last year, but Woodruff has great upside as well. But boy, seeing two Brewers in the first round pitchers, when has that ever happened? Not in my lifetime, that's for sure.
Actually, you could see three. We see three plenty, especially in the 15s when Hader goes too. So,
question for
we
you
used to be Bambi's Bombers. We never had pitchers before.
You guys, correct me if I'm wrong, that I read somewhere in the preseason that they're possibly looking into utilizing a 6-man rotation at some point. Kind of, they did that a little bit last year. Have you seen or heard anything about that for this year?
I have not. Who would be the 6? I mean, Ashby.
Ashby, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy that they're really talking a lot about, but I have not read anything about a 6-man rotation.
I haven't seen anything either, not on the Brewers.
Maybe I made that up, but I swear I read that somewhere. So it'd be a nice extra to know.
The Brewers have never done that I can think of, that's for sure. Any thoughts, Vlad, on Rob Manfred's press conference today? I watched the whole damn thing. Certainly laughed when he said that the owners don't make any money, that they'd be better off putting it in the stock market. Yeah, right. So any thoughts, though? Excitement? Leaning towards maybe getting something done this weekend?
I don't know about this weekend, but I think it might be a step in the right direction. I think they'll still end up being a little apart. I was actually expecting a little bit more kind of negative, more stern talk. So it was actually a little bit, just a tiny bit uplifting to hear him at least saying, whether he believes it or not, that he would like the season to start on time and for things not to be delayed. So, yeah, I mean, we would like at least, 4 week spring training, right?
Yeah, definitely. He did not cancel spring training, which was a surprise as well. I don't know if that means that he wants the players to take the blame when a deal doesn't get on Saturday, and then he comes out and says, well, the players didn't agree to what we gave them, so we have to cancel the start of spring training. So we shall see. Yeah, I think Jason is right there. Maybe he does. Thank you, Jason DuPont. Appreciate that. Yeah. Well, we have no love for the man. I mean, get the game back. Just get the goddamn game back. In fact, if you're close enough on Saturday, they can end the lockout. They can say we're going to continue to negotiate, and the doors are open. See you on Tuesday, right? That's when they're supposed to report on Tuesday. Let's do it. They can do that if they want to. So, all right. Freeman, Tatis, and Julio Urias going to Team 1 there. Team 2 has Turner, DeGrom, and Judge. And here we have our
max. I mean, that's a new min. By far, his previous min was 36. This is 20
for Judge.
Yeah.
Hendricks, our first closer, goes at 27. So we probably see Hader pretty soon as well. All right. So surprise on Judge then at that point, Darik?
Surprise, not surprise. I don't really get surprised on any of the picks anymore. I've seen guys move around, and again, that guy loves Judge, obviously, and no chance he's going to get him. Very, very little chance he's coming back in the 4th round. So, if he wasn't, he didn't like the next group of 5 or 6 guys, or he liked Judge as much and feels like he can be the guy to jumpstart, you got to take him there if he's your next guy. I certainly wouldn't have taken him over Alvarez or probably Teoscar Hernandez at this point. But again, to each their own. I think they're all fine picks, and obviously we know the ceiling on these guys. Judge could be a 50 home run guy. So again, it's certainly not going to rip on the pick.
Yeah. So he said this is MEM 26. What it was 36 in this format. Obviously, we only had 8.
We've had 8
OCs so far. But again, you draft Turner, you've got the speed. Now you're looking for power, right? So you got yourself an ace, you hope, in DeGrom if he can stay healthy, and you got speed and power in Turner and Judge. So, like you say, to each his own. But Judge certainly can provide that power to go with the speed, and now you're off to the races. So, looking good there. All right, we did get Hader here. We have our 2 closers going here in round 3. He went right after Hendricks. So 27 and 28 were our 2 closers that went. They didn't drop much. Like you said, they might, Vlad. We'll see where the next tier goes of the closers, but 27 and 28 is about where they have been going in the NFBC. So Tim Anderson, there's another guy, good stolen base guy, can help you in the batting average as well. Marte, stolen bases. I mean, what is your thoughts on stolen bases? You don't need as many as you used to. What is the mark right now? About 120? I don't know in the 12-team format.
I think you got to go. I think you got to go a little higher than that. I think you got to shoot
Okay.
for at least close to 130.
Okay.
The best teams are going to end up with that many. They just are. And honestly, I don't think it's. I mean, I've watched some of these drafts. A couple of guys that I like to watch. I actually use Baseball HQ stats, which I actually think aren't high enough. I think they actually trim theirs down on purpose. But I'll throw their stuff together on like Mac Tracker and stuff on their sites. And then these guys come up with, a lot of these guys come up with 133, 138 steals on their team. And I think that works. I think it looks good. When I look at it, I go, yeah, I mean, you didn't really, I mean, sure, they might have a Marte or whatever, but they don't really reach other than that. And they just, they grab guys that get 8, 9. And when you add it up over the spots, that you can get there. But I do think you're gonna need more than 120. I don't think that's enough. Not in the 12 team.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, that's your 80 percentile. Again, you could be in the middle of the pack and still be doing all right in stolen base. You don't have to, but there are guys that really do want to get the stolen bases early if possible. And don't we all? I mean, you want to get a good chunk of them. There's Anderson. So Salvador Perez goes at 34, our first catcher. He has gone higher than that, obviously, but seeing a catcher. We saw Real Muto last year. Darik and I took Real Muto. Was it like the 4th or 5th round? We got criticized.
I didn't want to pull it in the 4th, and I said, let's see if we can sleep him one more. So
well, we did, and then we got criticized on the air for taking a catcher too high. Well, there you go. Perez in round 3. All right, Aaron Nola goes to Vlad, and now Vlad's on the clock. We'll let you make this pick and then talk about your thoughts on Nola this year. A guy who certainly has a talent, did have put it all together last year, but hoping for bigger things this year. Pete Alonso goes to team 12. And then who? Oh, Bieber goes to team 12 as well.
So before Vlad even makes the next, I'll say Nola is one of my bounce back guys. I actually have him higher. I actually have him around 30th overall. So let's like, well, I guess that's 5 spots from where he went. So I like Nola a lot this year. I just the expected ERA looks good. I mean, the strikeouts are there. I think it's just last year was kind of just a blip with the ERA, but I mean, I think he's fine. So he's one of the guys I like a lot.
All right, pocket aces, but not in rounds 1 and 2. Talk about those 2 picks, Vlad.
Yeah, it was actually an interesting decision because I wasn't necessarily planning to go a couple of those outfielders in the first 2 rounds, and there were 2 ways I could have gone there. One was just to solidify a couple of starters where I can essentially go in any direction that I want in the next few rounds. There was a hitter that I was interested in who I thought would fit nicely. But at that position, there are other players I like later. So I may have some tough decisions down the road, but I feel solid. At least those are kind of like, for me, they're not like the sexy upside guys. To me, they're really solid. Like, I'm not typically a Giolito early guy. In fact, I think through 8 drafts, it's my first share of him. But man, I mean, if those guys are pumping out 180 plus innings, I'm expecting 200 plus Ks on both, solid whips, and maybe a little bounce back, or at least maybe some goodness in the ERA for Giolito. They're going to get a lot of wins this year.
Yep.
Right. So now Manfred did say that they agreed to the DH. Obviously, that's got to be negotiated, but I think the Players Association will agree to it. When you're doing projections, your National League hitters are going to have to, or pitchers, I should say, will probably have higher projected ERAs. I mean, I used to like to, in mixed drafts, take NL starting pitchers if possible, right? Did you ever do that yourself?
Oh, that was always a thing. I mean, especially NL West, I'm targeting pitchers. AL East, I'm targeting hitters, kind of how it's been. But I've been projecting over the last couple months with expecting the DH.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, it wasn't much of a surprise. So kind of need to factor that in already.
Yeah, in fact,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of the most of the sites, I think, even had that factored in. I know one site said that they have to kind of redo theirs because they didn't necessarily do it that way. But I think most of the drafters were going in with the expectation that we were going to have a universal DH.
Yeah. So Clark says Nola versus Bieber is a conversation. Were you thinking that one at all?
I actually would have probably taken a shot on the Bieber upside if he was there. I had to make that decision on whether I wanted Nola or Bieber first. looking at the turn at 12, assuming that he was probably going to go with at least one pitcher there. So I kind of had to make that decision. And it's actually why I like the 11 spot. I prefer it over the 12 because I kind of like to, I guess, I don't know what the term is, galaxy brain, but I like to sort of get a feel for where 12 is going to go so I can make my decisions on those two picks.
All right. Anthony says Nola and Giolito could be 400 innings of goodness. That's what you're hoping for, right? It's hard to find starting pitchers that'll go 200 innings. I do think if we can start spring training on time, they can go 200 innings or 180 or so. And but if they don't get started on time, there's no doubt managers are going to be very tentative with starting pitchers early in the year because of so many injuries last year. I mean, I was watching MLB Network today. They were saying out of the 1,200 plus players that played last year, 800 of them missed time, because of injury. I don't know if it was IL, but it was 800 that they said. Huge number, obviously. All right, here we go into round 4 here. Story goes in round 4. Lindor in round 4. Goldschmidt in round 4. Cy Young winner Robbie Ray here as well. Anything you're seeing here, Darik, that stands out? Any builds that stand out so far? We're only through 4 rounds, I understand, but anything at all?
No, nothing crazy. Everyone's got a pitcher by now, at least one. So, and everyone's got a hitter. So nothing, not any crazy builds to start. This is kind of the part of the draft. I think my first and second tier pitchers are gone at this point. So this is these next 3 rounds, maybe even 4. I'm going to go get some hitters or maybe a closer that I like, but my starting pitchers I think are done for a while. And in 12, I know where they start coming back. So these were where if I was drafting right now, I'm taking my shots at, guys I think that maybe next year are first or second rounders or third rounders that are going to just jump. This is a case where coming up in this round, depending on how I would build, this is a place where I might jump a certain center fielder that plays for my favorite team. Guys like that, where I think if everything works, they can just totally outdo the value that you get them at here. Again, it's easier to do in a 12. I don't think I don't feel like I was ever as safe in the 12s as drafting in the 15s. So this is where I like to pull the trigger on my guys and make sure I get them. I'd rather be wrong with my guys than, right and have them be on somebody else's team. Yeah, there he goes. So there he goes.
Yeah, you were trying to hide who it was because you only played half the games last year, so people were kind of guessing who you were talking about, I guess. But but no, he's this is the year, and I just loved what I saw from him early last year. I had him on a couple of teams. I felt smug, like I finally figured it out, and then he misses time after time after time. So,
yeah, it's frustrating. So I mean, you have to prepare for him missing time. I mean, you have to build that in, but. Boy, if you're wrong about him missing time and he just stays healthy, I mean, especially with the batting average where it's likely to be at now, he's not down in the 230s, 240s anymore. So
well, last year he showed that he might actually have more home runs than stolen bases. I mean, he looked like a power hitter last year. So,
yeah, everything's just coming together. I mean, he looks like he's a fan. He's talent wise, he's probably a top 6 or 7 player in the league when he's healthy. So.
But he's never healthy. So, all right. So just give you a little background here. Again, this is the Rotowire Online Championship, $150,000 grand prize. It is a $350 entry fee. These are 12 teams, 30 rounds, fab every week. You set your lineup every week. So this is a little mini version of our main event. The main event is 15 teams, but I mean $150,000 grand prize. If you can turn 350 into 150. That'd be a sweet little deal. And this is a fun competition. Always goes right down to the end. League prize is $1,400. We pay second place in each league at $700. So jump on in. We have drafts every night. Darik, what times do we have drafts for Rotowire?
Rotowire are 8, 10, and 11:30 p.m. Eastern every night. Weekends we'll start having some afternoon drafts at 2, 4, 6, kind of the even times on these. And then once we get down close to it, they'll be daily Monday, all week long, starting at 2 when we get closer to opening day. Hopefully that's on time. So we're expecting about 2,460 teams in this. So you got your work cut out for you in trying to win that $150,000 overall. But we're expecting a record year. So as long as we get the guys back on the field, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. This is a very popular contest, grows year after year.
Yeah, definitely. We had 2,388 teams last year, so we added 25,000 to the grand prize this year. We're just expecting a few more leagues to fill it up. We're excited. I'll tell you what, if they do sign a CBA in the next week or whatever, that first week after it's done, there's 100+ free agents. There's still arbitration. They said they probably will do the arbitration even into the season. There's no way they'll be able to get all the arbitration cases done. But that week after they settle is going to be a zoo. It's going to be wild. And I just think people are going to want to draft and jump in. There's going to be new values they're going to want to get. So
yeah, I'm expecting no
excited.
sleep. Yeah, no sleep for me that week, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. So check out everything. All right. Paul Sporer asked Mondesi and Buxton in the same round. Will they finally explode? Will they finally stay healthy? What do you think? Are either one of you on Mondesi?
Not right there. Again, I mentioned when we had Matty on with Cutline last week, I love Mondesi in that format because I don't have to guess when to use him. And he, I think Matty got him in the eighth round or at least the seventh round. That right there, Mondesi's a little early though. That guy's build it kind of works, but I don't know if I would have pulled it. Again, he's obviously a speed guy. Now he does have a little pop in his bat, that's for sure. But I think I can get to the speed numbers I need to get to without having to pull the trigger on Mondesi there. But again, it could certainly work. Guy could steal 60 bases, hit 20 home runs, and that's going to look like a gift.
Yeah, he's looking at some speed there with Tatis, O'Neill, and Mondesi if they can all stay healthy. So interesting. All right, there's Baez. Very interesting. We did do Matty's cut line last week, and Baez went 6th overall.
6th overall.
That was a new min. You feel like you got a bargain there?
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting here is never in a million years did I think I might be looking at Marcus Semien so late, especially considering he's got an ADP, at least in this format, of the basically end of the 3rd round. So here I am almost in the 6th looking at Semien, and I would have bit. I probably would have, sometimes they say the player that falls, it's, you're the sucker in the room, whatever. There's for most players, at least for a lot of players, there's a price at some point. And for me, that would have been a fine price. Yeah. But then you start comparing at another level. You're like, okay, is he really going to be, looking at my projections of him versus Baez? It is really, honestly, pretty similar. And so, I don't know. For me, looking at this team, I usually do struggle a little bit early on getting stolen bases. And the fact that I have 3 guys that are going to produce stolen bases, hopefully Acuna as well, makes me feel comfortable. I now feel like I can go in lots of different directions. Oh, and
yeah. And you are up. Absolutely. We are seeing a lot of closers go here. Darik, Clase, Diaz, Presley, Romano. Everybody's trying to get one to start off, it looks like, right?
Yep, and Romano's a guy that's moving. He went 39th tonight in our $1,000 draft champions that's going on. He went at 3.9. Closers were just flying off the board in that one. So, again, we're seeing it across the board, except for the cut line, essentially. But that's obviously a different format. But, in these Roto leagues, wow, he's got to be the biggest riser in the last couple of weeks. I should look that up. But to me, it's like I don't think it's a doubt who it's got to be him.
If they're in the 3rd round already, that $1,000 DC just started this afternoon.
Yeah, they're moving. I think they're probably close to the 4th already. Well, pick was 3.9.
That's okay. I'll keep him. I was trying to click on someone else, but let's roll with it. It's meant to be. He's my guy, so I got to roll with it.
Well, you got him the last time I think you drafted in the cut line, did you not?
Yeah, but it's different. I feel like the cut lines are a different animal. I can grab someone like that. I got him like 100 something, but me, I'm not I don't feel great about early catcher, and I'm not trying to make hero picks here. There was another direction I was going, but it's fine. We'll roll with it. And
you have 2 administrators right here who can,
that's fine.
Wave the wand here if you need.
I honestly don't mind that pick at all. He's gone in the 5th round a couple times of the last couple ones I've watched. I don't have a problem with that at all. And you got him as your number 1 catcher, right, Vlad, this year?
Yeah. I actually, after doing my catcher article, I still have Perez a little bit above him, but it's close and closer than 80 picks.
Okay.
All right, we're seeing Paul Sporer here in our room. Paul, we've got a league rating for you, buddy. Whenever you're ready, let's jump on in here. We'll do this with you as well. Paul does a great job on Twitch when he does his as well.
Yeah, very funny. Fun to watch.
Fun to watch, and we would love to do it with him again as soon as he's ready. So, good stuff. All right, so Vlad, you got a good build going here. You feel good, or how are you feeling at this point?
Yeah, I do feel pretty good. OCs, they're so much fun. The interesting thing is I'm looking over at Team 1, and he was somebody that I actually tweeted at, like, hey, you got to join this. You should join this league. And I'm looking at his team, and I like a lot of those guys individually. We'll see how they work out together. But that guy at number 1 happens to be a pretty good player in this format, so this will be fun. Lots of good players in this format, but like there's some very enticing picks on that team.
Well, when we do a beat Vlad, you're not going to get chum out there, right? They want to come in and take you on.
I don't want to give away any free subscriptions, so I got to get first.
See, that's what we love. So if you finish ahead of Vlad in this league, he's going to give you a subscription to ftnfantasy.com. If you got it in you, come on, join us next time. We're going to try and do one more next week with Maddie, and step on up. It's a lot of fun, and there's good prizes to be won as well. All right, a few outfielders going here. Rosarina goes to Team 7. Eloy Jimenez. Those are 2 guys with upside. What's your thoughts on Eloy if he can stay healthy, Darik? I mean, he's a guy who, second round, third round last year.
Yep. So I mean, you're definitely getting a discount this year. The team should be, team around him should be very good. If he can put it all together, I think 35 to 40 home runs you're looking at, probably 100 RBIs at least. Probably not going to run much. Maybe he'll grab 1 or 2 for you, but that's not really what you're paying for him for. So batting average should be okay. I don't think he's going to be a batting average swoon or not going to hurt you. So good pick, power bat. Again, he stays healthy, and maybe he's just ready to take off here.
All right, and as you can see, these things cruise pretty good. We're almost getting through the round 6. We're not even a half an hour in. No draft errors, maybe Vlad's, but he kept it to himself there. So no, it's these are smooth and easy. You saw the cut line last week and the week before. Those things get done 2 hours, 2 hours and 10. These usually take about 2.5, but very, very easy after 30 rounds. A lot depends on your draft, but again, we have fab pickups, and you can turn your roster over really, really good during the season as well. Darik, you used to love this format, didn't you? The 12-teamers. Do you like it more than the 15, or you like the 15 more than the 12s?
I liked playing the 12 better. I mean, now I can't play either, so it doesn't matter. But the 12s was kind of where I kind of cut my teeth, and I moved up into the 15s. I never did cash in the main event. I think my highest finish was 4th one year. It was actually Trout's rookie year. He called up, and we had him stashed, so that kind of helped there. But 12s was where I got going, and it was the size of my home leagues essentially, so it was easy to kind of make the transition into the player pool. And I got my butt whipped for a while. Just you come into a new contest with guys you've never played against and don't know how good they are, and so I took some lumps, but at the end there I was winning some leagues for sure. Yeah,
definitely. Vlad, you got any preference, 12 or 15, or you like them both, or what's your feeling?
They're different, of course, but over the last few years, there's just something special about the 15-teamers that I love, and especially because we're drafting a lot of them live in Vegas. They're the higher entry fees. They're more competitive. So, of course, it's 15s for me now. It used to be 12s, but it's changed a little bit.
Yeah. I'm proud of the 15. I mean, I was talking with MTM on our podcast the other night. I mean, that is one thing I'm proud of. There was no 15-teamers before the NFBC. There were 12-teamers, and that was really it. I mean, ESPN used to have 10-teamers, and I don't know why I decided to make it tougher. I just said I wanted to make it tougher, and I was out the Arizona Fall League, and I was actually with Charlie Wiegert and John Zaleski, and I was like, I'm going to do this. What size would you do? And Charlie goes, 14. Mine's 14. And Zaleski said, 16. That's a challenge. And I kind of thought, well, there's 30 teams. How about right in the middle? 15 sounds like a good one. They'll have half the player pool to choose from here if they want, and the other half will be free agents. So 15 it was, and it was a hit right off the bat. So love it. So here we are in round 7 now. Chapman, another closer going in round 7. He seems to have fallen a lot. I actually got him in our Draft Champions League and was hoping that he would fall to me. I know his ERA was up last year. He gave up some homers and such, but on that Yankees team, you'd think he could get 30 saves on that if he can stay healthy. Corey Seager, what do you think, Vlad, going to Texas? Good or bad for him?
I mean, it's bad for me personally. I love the guy. So if it ends up being because we got Freddie or Correa or something like that, then hey, that'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, we'll miss him. He'll be just fine. Just give the man a full healthy season. You've got a very interesting team there that now has one of the hitting coaches from the San Francisco Giants that really unlocked a lot of those guys and rebounded guys with, Brandon Belt, obviously that career high in homers, and Brandon Crawford revival, Buster Posey, perfect exit. Just so many things. Darren Ruff is crushing it. So this guy is now over in Texas, and he's assembling a nice little offense. So even some of those later guys that nobody's really thinking about or talking about, like a Willie Calhoun, right? We've been waiting for him forever to kind of break out. So maybe this guy unlocks a little bit something with them.
Beautiful. All right. So Bregman goes in the 7th round. I saw today, I don't know if it was a Fangraphs guy or somebody said that he's been dropping in drafts. He's not going to have a good year or whatever. And he responded to him, said, "Oh, really?" Or something like that.
It was we'll see. I think it was something. Yeah, we'll
We'll
see.
see.
I saw that.
Yeah. I like it when players respond like that, a little
good.
confidence, right?
That's funny.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think? Are you on Bregman at all?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the fact that I mean, if people aren't expecting 40 home runs, then you'll be fine. But Bregman in the middle of that awesome, solid lineup will be fine. I do believe he's a little underpriced. I believe the surgery on his wrist was obviously nothing major, and he's looking good, right? I mean, all we can go by now is batting cage videos and quotes. So he seems to be fine. I think he's underpriced, so I'm in on Bregman.
Yeah, I think it's a good value there in the 7th round as well. Darik, what about Justin Verlander? We didn't see him at all last year. I mean, he's had a full year and then some to get better, 18 months for sure. Is that good value there here in the 7th round, you think?
I'll tell you what, he's definitely moving up, because you weren't having to get him in the 8th round of a 12-teamer before these last couple ones. So, again, it's hard to, guy's 38, 39 years old, but he's also going to be a Hall of Famer. So, I'm not going to doubt him at this point. If you can get 115 or so more healthy innings out of him, or 90% old vintage Verlander, that's probably okay right there. Again, one of those guys that's been moving up a lot.
Yep. Yeah, and our draft champions, I wanted him as well. I think it was, I don't know what round it was, to be truthful. It might have been 9 in the 15-teamer, and he got swiped before me. But I was hoping to get him, and I did not get him. I think he's going to come back. I mean, he's been off long enough where I got to believe the arm is going to be healthy enough. So we'll see. All right, we'll let Vlad make this pick. Kenley Jansen. Darik, where do you think he's going to land? He's a free agent right now.
I'd still say maybe the Dodgers. I don't know. I honestly don't have a good read on that. Vlad probably has a way better.
Oh, you went back-to-back Dodger there. Talk about it.
I mean, Kenley Jansen, whether he's a Dodger or not, is going to close. I don't think his career is quite done. At least has another good season in him. So if it's whether it's in LA and they work out an agreement or somewhere else, I don't really feel much of a difference between him and some of the guys that were just going 2 rounds ahead of him. So it was kind of nice that he fell from, to me, I was hoping one of him or Will Smith or Chapman would fall there, just so I wouldn't have to worry about closer too much. That's fine. I'll grind it out in fat if I have to and grab some more guys. But one closer, just, in the first 10 rounds, and I'm good with it.
Yeah, and what about Bellinger? I know last time we had you on, you did say you felt he was going to come back. He looked good in the playoffs. You saw enough there, right?
Yeah, I've got to, I think, talk to him. I don't want to talk him up much more. I'm a big fan. If it could be a bit of homerism, it could be maybe something I know, but either way, I'm in on him. I think I may have just set them in, and that's fine. So be it. And if I overpay, hit me up on Twitter and call me a fool, because I will deserve it.
Yeah. So Darik, what do you think? Like teams 1 and 2 only have one starter right now. They have one closer and one starter, hitting the offense pretty good. You're not concerned because you like some of the pitchers here?
I'm not concerned yet. I mean, you can make up some stuff. I mean, this is some of these guys are going off a little early now. Like I'm a big Dylan Cease guy. Trevor Rogers are 2 guys I like a ton. Guys that you can get in the 7th, 8th round. Now again, they're not going to make it back to team 1 or 2 here. So again, their offense looks really nice at this point. So that they're a step ahead there against some of these other teams that have more pitchers at this point. So we'll see. I mean, again, you can make a lot of ways to skin a cat here too. So there's still a ton of pitching depth out there. So if you're confident in the Urias start and the DeGrom, I mean, the one guy with DeGrom probably is a little bit more edgy for me right now, just because we don't know what we're going to get out of him. Again, any pitcher can get hurt, but I think these guys, 2 good players will figure something out in their next couple of picks here, and they'll have 3 or 4 pitchers on board.
Yeah, I love the offense that both teams have here, but I always get a little squirmish if I don't have enough starting pitchers. I feel like I mean, what's the target for strikeouts? Like 1,400 plus, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
that's a lot of strikeouts you have to get from now your second tier or third tier starting pitchers. But that's just me. I'm a little squirmish, like I say, if I don't feel like I have enough.
Yeah, and I think in the OCs you can kind of make up some of those strikeouts that aren't as easy to do in the main event because, again, there's just more pitchers available on a weekly basis, and you can get a lot more two starters. So a lot of guys do that, and with their 5th, 6th, 7th starting spots, whatever, and that works if you're especially if you have a dominant top 3 or something, you can make that work as well. So again, to each, you got to look at how your team's progressing at this point and grab what you need to. Now, again, if somebody, even if these guys don't grab a pitcher here, it's not it's not the end of the world, because if they're getting, good value on these guys that they're taking here, somebody falls to you that you have no idea that you thought they'd be there, then again, you can do that.
Yeah, again, I like the pitchers that are going right here. I mean, there's still good strikeout pitchers here. You're talking Verlander, Rogers, Gossman, Flaherty. Certainly, if he could stay healthy, could be an ace as well. Castillo showed signs last year, obviously, in stretches that he can be very, very dominant. So, there's still a lot of good strikeout pitchers here and aces that are available. So, Yelich, someone tell me he's going to bounce back. Tell me.
If the back's okay, I don't know about. You're not going to get the full, beautiful 3 years ago Yelich bounce back, but you could get a little bit of it. It's going to be better than last year, that's for sure.
Yep, those backs, so you never know. That's the problem. Backs are just awful. Yeah,
for your swing especially, and you can tell he was not fluid last year with his swing. So let's hope so. Darik, we've got a auction coming up in a couple of weeks. I haven't prepared for auctions, but I'll look at our average auction values and be ready at that point. But should be fun. You've been watching a few auctions. What are you seeing in them?
I think I've only watched one, to be honest with you. I think Brian and Tom have watched the other ones. But, I think I watched the first one, or maybe the second one. I don't know. Nothing crazy. I mean, people, I think I did watch the second one because we had, AAV, so everyone knew what they went for in the first one. So you see a little bit of maneuvering, there. And again, auctions are always just each one is a different beast, because when guys get thrown out at different times. So it's like, a guy can go for $31 here, and in this one he goes, 3 or 4 nomination rounds later, and he can only cost 25 or 26. So especially at this early in the year, I don't get crazy about the prices. Love auctions, obviously. I can go get my guys. I know there's 3 guys I'm coming out of our auction without a doubt. I don't care what I'm paying. Ours is that we're not pumping down $1,500 here to play in our private league. So I'll go get my guys just like I do every year, and we'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, I saw tonight's. I think the top one was 48. I don't know if that was Tatis or Turner, and then 45 and 43 were the next ones. So the ones that I've been watching, top guys usually around 45, 43, 44 in that area. Get a couple at 42, and then starting pitchers are 38ish. So should be fun. Yep, with 15-team auctions, those are a beast. I mean, man, you are worn out after those, that's for sure. But they are a lot of fun. Vlad, you said you were thinking about doing a live auction. Is that correct?
Yeah, I kind of want to get back into it, and I want to do it live in Vegas. I remember have a not a great taste in my mouth, because the last time I did one was the year that Noah Syndergaard went out early, and spent a lot of money on him in that auction. So want to jump back in, and I want to challenge myself. I'm kind of in this in my zone, in my wheelhouse, and I need to go out there. I got to win in different formats, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Vegas is starting to shape up. I can hardly wait till we get baseball back. But we already have 60 signed up for the Saturday main event, so we've got 4 full leagues. We've got room for 7. We're in a little smaller area than we've had in the past. There's a huge convention at the Bellagio, but looking forward to hosting everybody out there. We've got a couple of auctions already filled. We got the Diamond auction filled. We got a couple spots left in the Ultimate auction. We got the Diamond filled, the Platinum filled. We're loving it. So we got a good crew coming out to Vegas, but once baseball comes back, I know a lot more people are going to be coming out there. We're going to get 7 full mains for sure on Saturday. 105 people doing that at one time would be a lot of fun. So, and we are going to induct John Posma into the Hall of Fame. Thoughts on that, Vlad?
Amazing. I have so much respect for John and in his style and how versatile he is. He's just fantastic. One of the best players ever in all the different formats. And obviously his resume speaks for himself. and he's also a really good guy. It's a very nice theme here for the Hall of Famers are pretty humble guys for the most part. I think we have one friend we can maybe an exception if you're listening, Mark. But yeah, I mean, just really humble, down to earth, nice guy. And let me take this steal right here because I can't believe they left him for me. Thank you.
Nice.
Right. Yeah. There's a good
See,
one.
there's another case in point right there. You just in these OCs, guys fall. They just fall, and so.
Yeah. So the answer to that, Clark, is no. We can't go more than 7 on that Saturday because we do have 7 ballrooms. That's all we have. I guess we could find one somewhere else. We want to keep everyone together, so we will limit it to 7. We've had 7 the last couple of years. Last year, I think we had 7 out there. We had 7 at the Park MGM. And I know we had 7 in 2018 as well. So it seems to be a nice sweet spot. And we have mains on Sunday morning and Thursday night as well, if you can't squeeze into that one. But nope, we're going to be stuck at 7 will be the most we'll have for Saturday afternoon.
One final note on Posma. I think a lot of people just assumed he was already in. Like there's a lot of people surprised when they heard the announcement that he wasn't already in. So
we told him after 2018, I told him I was thinking of putting him in. And he said, I'm not worthy. I was like looking at his resume. Yeah, okay, I guess you're not worthy. And he had a fantastic 2018. That's when he won the main event and finished second in the Rotowire Online Championship. He has 3 mains, but he's got 64 league titles. And I mean, cut lines, $50 DCs, online championship, 15-team mains, 15-team auctions, every single format possible. Keeper leagues that KJ runs, he's won. So you got to give him a lot of credit. He's won every format. And he's our 5th leading money winner in the NFFC as well. So he is very close to Hall of Fame status in the NFFC as well. Won the online championship in football. So it's great to see a guy who can do both sports and do both sports well. I was talking with Glenn Schroeder. There's not a lot of people that have excelled through the years in both sports. I mean, Glenn is one of them as well. Posma is one of them. But a lot of people are switching to just maybe one sport. So, all right, let's talk about your second pick there, Anthony Rendon. Man, injury last year. But at this time last year, he was going end of second round, right?
Yeah, obviously, I feel like he has a little bit of redemption in him, especially after signing that big contract with the Angels and hasn't come close to earning it. And obviously, injuries kind of hit him back. But, I mean, how can you not love this Angels offense, especially since they might not be done and could be adding another bat? But that front 4 is just ridiculous. And if Rendon can play 140-plus games, he's going to really reap the benefits. People may be surprised how many runs he's going to be driving in, just like he used to when he was, up in that MVP race a few years ago. And looking at my team, I could use a little batting average help. Like, Mookie Betts is not necessarily a 300-plus guy anymore. We don't know the range of guys like Baez, Bellinger, Cunha. I don't know if those guys are going to hit 250 or 290 or, so getting somebody like Rendon, who I think has great contact skills, somebody who I see easily going 280 plus, even closer to 300 like he's done in the past. I think he can get there. And so that's kind of why I went with him. And also because I didn't have any corners yet. Really needed a corner.
Right. I was just going to say, I mean, you probably weren't targeting Darvish and Rendon at the beginning of this draft, but they both seem to like fall into you, and they fit perfectly with what you were looking for at that time, correct?
Yes. There were a few pitchers when I took Darvish that I was interested in, and if one of those guys fell, I would have taken him. Snell was kind of the backup plan, and he went before me. And I feel really comfortable about that as a number 3. Rendon, there were other good options there, but just kind of looking at maybe getting a little batting average help, and I have plenty of steals, felt like the right pick.
All right, sounds good. All right, Darik, any builds standing out to you at this point, or everybody just kind of filling in nicely?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's nothing crazy. Everyone's got 3 pitchers. Well, no, Team 12's only got 2 at this point. So he's loading up on offense, but no, nothing wacky here at all. Coming into the range now where we're going to start to see a lot of corners probably come off and starting up. There we go. Just guys like that coming off. This is where they tend to go every draft, and you can get some guys with some nice power. Obviously, Hoskins. There's a couple more guys I like a lot still that haven't gone. So this is where you see that, and guys grabbing outfielder 3 or 4, and maybe another closer. You get into the rounds where we start seeing a few of the guys that we don't know if they're closing yet, but we think they are. These guys, those guys will start going. So I like to look after about round 12. I like to look at maybe the first 4 or 5 guys somebody takes, and then I like to look after 12. I have a certain pattern that I kind of do. I don't always stick to it, but I kind of have an idea of what I want after 12 rounds in these 12s. What I used to do, and I still think I would be doing it that way. So again, after about 12 rounds, I like to see what everybody kind of has.
So people are drafting Kimbrel. Are they drafting him thinking he's going to be a closer somewhere, or he's going to set up, or what's going to happen with him?
I mean, I don't think you can draft. You have to assume that he's going to be closing somewhere, because just getting a glorified middle reliever with good ratios it just doesn't work. The Devin Williams. So yeah, you got to hope he's closing.
So you're expecting a trade, I assume.
Yeah.
Because he signed already.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Either if I expect a trade, or I just won't draft him.
Yeah.
If I don't expect that.
Yeah. All right. In this round, you're seeing corner guys. I like the power, like you said, with Hoskins. We've got Cron there. Are we worried about batting averages at this point? We're looking for power. We've got some power guys. Are we worried about batting average at all or not?
I'm not, unless I look at my team and I'm like literally don't have, Vlad mentioned how he grabbed Rendon there to help out. I mean, at this point, no, I'm still not. I mean, there's guys you can get down in the 19, 20, 21 to help fill out your team at certain positions, I think, that are very, very good batting average hitters still. I think people would be surprised when they see some of the guys down there, what I project them to kind of hit. So unless I'm really unless I have a really weird build, I'm not worried about it.
Or last case scenario, you just take Howie Kendrick in the last round. Always works.
That was always
one of my favorites. Yeah. One of my favorites of all time.
Definitely. All right, we're going to go a little bit longer on this one, but then we're going to cut it off. I need to go to bed pretty soon. I got to get up early to work, but no, we want to give a little bit of a tease here. Maybe as we get a little closer to opening day, we'll do a little longer ones, but want to give you about 15 rounds to just kind of show the team builds, show where players are going and such. Glad to have everybody on the chat as well. We got a nice little audience here tonight, so we appreciate that. But we'll go a couple more rounds, and then we're going to call it a night. Let Vlad work his sleepers in without everyone seeing who he's taking and such. But we appreciate this. And again, it's moving along pretty good. We're in round 11, and we're 45 minutes in.
Yeah, that's a really good pace. Really good.
Yeah. When you get 12 good owners, like we say with the cut line, you get 10 owners. I mean, it's cruising. It doesn't feel fast, but you're not sitting here waiting on a guy taking every 60 seconds as well. So thoughts here. Look at a couple of the pictures here. I mean, Gallen, Rendon, Clanahan, all these guys, again, could have solid seasons, don't you think? No?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you can. I think there's a risk with all of them at this point. McClanahan, I'm not sure on the innings. Rodon, who knows about the arm at this point. And Gallen seems just to be a guy I never have. I don't hate him. I just don't know why he just never ends up on my team. So I guess I'm always lower on Zach Gallen than the crowd.
Yeah. I got McClanahan in this draft champions. Boz went before him. I was actually going to take him ahead of. I see he's still out there right now. Not that I want to throw out a name, but he's still out there. Shane Boz. All right.
Still some corners I'm expecting to come off pretty quick here too. And there's one of them. One of my guys. I was joking with Vlad last year that I was going to take Votto 1-1 this year when he was on that hot streak. So
I remember. Yeah.
I saw the graph of his career or whatever, and I mean, like the second half of last year, that year was just insanely straight up. He's consistent in here, and just like that. What do we expect from him this year then?
I'm hoping he can do something pretty close to what he did. In the
Change
30s,
his swing,
30s.
right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great hitter a long time, for a long time. So guys like that, I think, if they're healthy and they don't have back problems or wrist problems, whatever, I think, 6 months off in between what he was doing, hopefully it's only 6 months. I feel like he can do it again. And I like that Reds offense.
Yeah. Here's a guy who would take a lot of walks and such like that. Last year decided to get more aggressive, certainly changed the elevation of his swing because everything was flying out. So I think he can do it again as well if he keeps his swing angle that he has. So we'll see.
Can I ask you guys a question? Did Carlos Correa retire? or something? Like what's going on here?
Wow.
I think so many of these guys know you. They're just being nice to you. They're like, oh, that's Vlad's guy, Carlos Correa, every year.
Can you imagine him? I'm sorry. Can you imagine him on the Yankees? Like it would be
Oh,
insane, and it's
right?
a possibility. It's a legit
Yeah.
possibility. It's crazy.
Yeah, let's see. What's his ADP in this format?
It's not that low. That was
120. Let's see if I can find him here.
in this format so we've had
8 of them.
8 of them. Let's see. Well, he's 90, 107 in this format. Min of 98, high of 122.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. You're right.
And I have to drop the hammer. Sorry. Just might as well add to the riches. Let's get more homers.
Franmil.
I don't mind locking up my utility spot.
Nah, I never had a problem with that either. Used to take David Ortiz all the time. It usually worked out pretty well.
A guy named Nelly too.
Yeah, Nelly, exactly.
Did you take him in a 10-teamer, or was that Matty who took him in a 10-teamer?
That was Matt. Matt had him
Okay.
last week. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We talked about him, and if you're worried about tying up that UT, because in the cut line, possible that he doesn't even make your starting roster because somebody else had a bigger number. But I would think not very often, though. So, okay. Well, you're starting to fill out your infield here towards the end too, right? I mean, you didn't have a shortstop at that point. Didn't have a third baseman. It kind of fell to you.
Yeah, I mean, I consider you guys kind of a good luck because this is I'm kind of getting players that I like and able to basically overpay for Bellinger and still kind of have guys fall for me. So you know how it goes. This is the dream right now, and then spring training hits, and then a couple of these guys, IL pitcher gets Tommy John. Obviously, you hope not, but I feel good about it. I like this for a first OC. I'm pretty happy.
Well, just look at the top of Darik's head. That's what you rub for good luck. You know, forget about me here. Yeah.
Every year.
Drake is hitting the wall now. See, yeah, it's past my bedtime. Absolutely, man. Doesn't anybody know that? I'm not supposed to be up this late. Darik's the late owl. Vlad's on the West Coast. I got up early this morning. Now I gotta go shovel snow tomorrow morning too.
I hope it holds off. So I hope it holds off. So I don't have to shovel in the morning. That's always.
It's too cold right now, so it's really light. So I'm just going to run over the son of a bitch. I'm not even going to shovel it tomorrow. Just run it right over it. Glad you don't get any snow out there, do you?
No, it snowed I think twice in my life, and yeah. But I remember when I was 8, the first snow hit. It was just like magic. It was one of those memorable moments of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Like 8 years old.
You gotta go back to the motherland. It snows plenty there, dude.
Oh, I went once, man. It was nice. It was very nice.
Patrick, thank you very much. Good job, guys. Fun to follow. Again, we'll try to do this every Thursday night. We have been with the FTNFantasy.com guys, and it is fun. And we will see you out in Las Vegas as well. So, yeah, I mean, snow is beautiful, except for right now, it's just the worst because it's dirty and it's frozen. I mean, it's really hard to even walk on. It's been so cold. It's not like beautiful, fluffy snow, although right now it looks good with the new snow cover. But
good news is that we got a week coming up. We're not going to get any snow. It's going to be in the high 20s, maybe even low 30s. So by the time that week's over, I mean, we're not that far out from it being March. In which case we can get very, very nice weather in March. Of course, we can still get nailed with snowstorms here and there, but it's like this winter's been pretty darn nice. I've literally only pulled the snowblower out one time. Have just been able to shovel the rest of the time. So at this point, I'm going to knock on some wood there for saying that, but it's not been a bad winter here.
No, it hasn't been as far as snow-wise. We had a cold stretch for 2 weeks where every morning I'd come in and be -5, -6. We did have that stretch. I'm sick of that. I don't want any more sub-zero, that's for sure. So, all right, some good players still going off the bat. There we go. Shane Boz going in round 12. Dansby Swanson's a good bargain at this point. Mountcastle, I like an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Keep
people are on.
Yeah, I like Ruiz a lot this year, especially
Yes.
it's a nice way to hopefully, in my opinion, to stash some batting average with the catcher. That's definitely should definitely not hurt you there.
I just drafted him in our DC, so I thank you for that. But yeah, he was the number 1 prospect. He was a higher prospect ahead of Will Smith, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think he was in the Arizona Fall League one year. Yes, he was. I know he was. And but Smith passed him up, and Ruiz slowly went. But now he's got a great opportunity in Washington. I think he's going to be a good one as well. I like the batting average there. He's got a little pop as well. Did you ever see him in it with the Dodgers?
Who was that?
Ruiz.
Oh yeah,
Keeper?
I mean, I watched live that first home run, that basically the first pitch of his career. He took deep, and it was amazing, and then just the stadium went absolutely nuts. It was sad to see him go, but obviously, we have good prospects, and but people got to go places and hit. There was also a time when I thought Kyber Ruiz was going to be better than Will Smith. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition, but hey, it might still. It's still kind of early in their careers, so we'll see.
All right, sounds good. So before we go here, what are you looking to do right now, Vlad? You're looking for bargains yet? You got positions to fill? What do you do with roster construction at this point?
Yeah, I'm kind of comfortable at this point, just kind of looking at pockets of where I can wait, right? So, for example, if there are pitchers in this next batch that I like just as much as the pitchers that go in the next tier, I'm fine to wait and just kind of build up on the hitting. But at this point, I feel like I have some good flexibility to go in different directions, basically.
All right, sounds good. All right, Darik, last one. Anything you're seeing again? Otherwise, no crazy builds. This is a pretty normal OC. It's moving pretty good. We've got some tomorrow. Jump on in, everybody. That's our sales pitch. Go to playnfbc.com. Again, this is the Rotowire Online Championship, $150,000 grand prize. Darik, any last thoughts here?
No, I think this is just a very standard, very good draft. A lot of good drafters in here. They're getting guys. Move guys up. Who cares? Move them down. I think they're doing very good. It's not like some of these I like to call the 11:30 ones we do sometimes the night owl drafts. You see some and Vlad's been in them. We've seen some crazy ones. Although we've seen one. I think it was last year. Was that last year, Vlad, that I called it like the hardest one I've ever seen. Like every team was just making the right pick. I'm like, holy cow! No chance someone's coming out of here with an overall because it's just the guys just did a fantastic job. So. You can get those when you get a lot of late night guys doing it right, but you also we get some crazy drafts on late night. So I'm looking forward to those coming up because we haven't had any of those yet. So this is a very good draft. And again, nothing crazy here. I haven't had time. The names are so small right now on my screen that I can't necessarily I'll look at it after we go off the air, and I probably have a couple teams that I like more than others, but I don't think anybody's done themselves a detriment where they can't compete.
Yeah, and we are going to have 11:30 drafts this year for baseball. I mean, we really didn't have many of those last year. We saw in football we were doing 11:55 p.m. Eastern time drafts, and they were flying off last year. So
we had quite a few actually 11:30s last year. They were starting to get them, in March for sure. In March, we'll get them at both weekend nights, and we'll usually get them on a Wednesday night and a Monday night. So we'll have probably 4 or 5 a week as we move forward here.
Well, like I say, I think once this deal is done, and it's going to get done, it's just too much to lose for both sides. I think it's going to be a wild 48 more days or whatever the number is right now. So should be going well. Darik, we got a question here. I think Masato was talking about something.
Yeah, we don't have an update yet because there's still some really tough stuff on the API stuff. So again, I'm hoping we can get it done. Can't promise it, but we are still working on it, and eventually we will get it done.
So this is copying lists, if you could?
Copying lists from league to league. So eventually, that's my one thing that I need to get done, that I want to get done, because I know what it will do for being able for guys to add fab teams. And it'll be a game changer. I mean, it'll be that great.
Absolutely. I mean, if we can save time on fab, we know people want to play more. It's just very, very it's very, very difficult to get this perfect the way we want it. So there you go. I don't know. You haven't seen him in a race. I don't know if I would take Darik. He's got stamina. He is that horse. Maybe on longer distances. But
Tom tried to have me race Tyreek Hill a couple weeks ago, so I was going to have to do that.
Yeah. But I said you could have like an 80-yard dash. So you still couldn't. You couldn't beat him with an 80-yard start. Like, come on, 100-yard dash? Come on, Tom. Tyreek's not that fast, and Darik's not that slow.
Right.
He was. But, okay, well, I appreciate you guys taking the time tonight. It was a good hour. People seeing what's going on and what it looks like. We appreciate everyone who stayed on here. We had a couple dozen people on here, which was great. Again, this will be on our YouTube channel. You can see this board here. The board is public. After I get off here, I'll tweet it out again. But we do have a public draft board. You can watch the entire thing tonight if you want to. So stick around for that if you want. But otherwise, we'll see you next week, Thursday, when hopefully we'll have Maddie Davis on here for an online championship. Okay? Again, thanks to FTNFantasy.com. Check it out. Vlad, you got anything going on there that people should check out?
Always. NFBC tier specific articles. The next one coming out that I'm working on all weekend is breaking down the outfields by tiers. Matty Davis's juice versus the squeeze, closer articles, everything you can imagine, everything that you need. Cut line points projection rankings,
Yep.
my personal VDP ranking. So
I
on
think
board.
there were a couple guys in that cut line draft last night using your rankings verbatim because they were coming off. They were coming off right in order. So I think you got people looking there. So that's great.
Thank you.
That's
guys
what we
for having
want.
me.
That's what we want. Thank you, Vlad. Thanks, Darik. We will see you next week. And good luck, Vlad, the rest of the way in this draft. All right?
Thank you.